So it turns out Bolvar was a lot more important than we once thought. Previously, we've known him as a hero that decided to take the helm to control the Scourge, but recent spoilers reveal that he was really not just holding the Scourge, but everything else together, and was crucial for the world of Azeroth. So what has Bolvar actually done? I'd like to thank CringeVault for sponsoring this video. They've sent it to me about a month ago. I've used it. It is great. You can fit 12 cards on the side. You can fit cash here as well. And it is so much better in terms of space when compared to this old wallet that I've had. There are over 30 colors and styles, including carbon fiber and burnt titanium. There is a lifetime warranty and a test drive for 45 days, meaning if you don't love it, you can send it back. If you go to ridge.com/Doron, you can get 10% off as well as free worldwide shipping. Check out the link in the description below. Initially, we've known what happened with Bolvar in Wrath of the Lich King. He was a valiant and brave paladin. He fell at the Wrath Gate. He was kept alive, or barely alive, through dragon flames, and then he was tortured mercilessly by Arthas, yet managed to survive with just pure strength of spirit. When we defeated the Lich King, there was that entire scenario that there must always be a Lich King, and it turns out that there was a lot more meaning behind those words than we once knew. Bolvar decided to sacrifice himself and to take the crown, to take this massive burden, and since then we haven't really heard anything of him for a very long time. Then, in the past few expansions, there were few hints here and there, and we've learned that Bolvar was attempting to gain strength and to do something. At first, these were minor things, but over time he made a progressively bigger and bigger presence. A lot of his actions were quite questionable. He was borderline hostile towards us and other beings on Azeroth, and attempted to do quite a few gruesome things. However, now with the new spoiler information, all of this makes sense. The most recent Shadowlands Collector's Edition reveals a few quite significant quotes. Bolvar says, "Death was not the end I believed it to be. No rest or joyous reunion in the light awaited me. What I witnessed challenged all I knew. With my final breath, I saw impossible places, worlds within worlds brimming with beings that defy description. It wasn't until the Helm of Domination was placed upon my head that I understood the truth I had seen. Death is not the end, but a beginning." This obviously means that he found out about the Shadowlands for the very first time. Now he continues, "Now you have seen as I have. Sights never meant for living eyes. But this knowledge will not save you. Nothing can stop what Sylvanas set into motion. Rending the Veil was just the beginning. Beyond the ruined sky awaits an evil older than the reality itself. The Jailer has been amassing power within his maw, and soon his patience shall be rewarded. Everything we sacrificed to save Azeroth will have been in vain. The only key to saving our world lies within the realm of death." This quote is what most of us already knew, so it wasn't some groundbreaking revelation, but if you analyze it a bit more closely, it reveals a few quite interesting things. First is that Bolvar was probably the only person, aside from maybe Sylvanas or Helia, that knew what was actually going on behind the scenes, and he did his best to prevent things from happening as they did. Now, to add to this, there is another interesting quote that adds even more context to this entire story. "The veil between realms wanes. The Helm of Domination was crafted to be our way forward. Instead, the one seared by the flames of life uses it to keep us at bay." Aside from this obviously being Bolvar, the one seared by the flames of life, this confirms that the Lich King was indeed crafted by the Jailer and is from the Shadowlands with absolute certainty, and that this entire ordeal was a plan to free the Jailer all along. We've heard hints about this, but now it has been confirmed. As Arthas was defeated, the Jailer decided to create a pact with the Sylvanas in order to get rid of Bolvar and to break the connection. Now, while the Scourge was defeated and the Lich King as an entity was severely weakened, he still had quite a bit of power. So Sylvanas was tasked to create chaos to get stronger, to strengthen the Jailer, and to ultimately get rid of Bolvar. Bolvar obviously caught the wind of this, and for years he has prepared to face off against Sylvanas. First, he connected with the now independent Death Knights, then he attempted to raise new creations and to empower the Scourge, and he also attempted to get a greater grip on his undead army. For years he knew what was coming, and that duel that we saw in the cinematic was the culmination of both sides of the plan. Obviously, as we have seen, Bolvar lost and was defeated due to the Machine of Death breaking and the Jailer becoming insanely powerful, but Bolvar still offered some resistance. Shadowlands. For years, this guy has been holding back this insane wave of death, which, if that is heroic, I really don't know what is. Bolvar was literally defeated by the plague, seared by dragon flames, tortured for a long time by Arthas, somehow managed to survive this with his spirit unbroken, and then he took the crown, and for years he held back the Maw in the Shadowlands from consuming the material plane. In the meantime, he built up his power to defend from the agents of the Jailer Sylvanas, and literally no one knew about this. We've seen his actions throughout the years. We believe that maybe Bolvar is going insane, maybe he's finally becoming evil, but seriously, he's been a good guy all along. It's just that no one knew, and no one would have even believed him what was about to happen. Like, literally no one saw this coming. When we first saw Sylvanas just one-shot Saurfang out of nowhere, no one could speculate how she managed to gain all that power all of a sudden and what was really behind the scenes. Even I thought these were like some powers of the void. Bolvar even says to us, "Now you have seen as I have. Sight's never meant for living eyes, but this knowledge will not save you." Maybe had we learned about this ages ago and defeated Sylvanas before this was about to happen, things would have been different. But honestly, I think regardless of Sylvanas, this dam was about to break one way or the other, and Bolvar was literally like a tiny nail holding a gigantic castle gate. Still, the former paladin managed to keep the tide back since Wrath of the Lich King, holding the biggest burden on the entirety of Azeroth. Thank you for watching. Check out the top 10 most powerful Death Knights by clicking on the screen, and also check out Doran's Academy for videos on real world history and science. See you next time.